Excuse me. Could I have just a moment of your time? No offense, but I want to get to know the real you. Like, the real you. No offense. No offense. If you have a moment, I would like to get to know the real you. The real you. No offense. The real you. The real you. No offense. What's up, guys? It's your boy Matt Arrington, also known as Mr. No Offense to Some. And today we have on the No Offense podcast, Mr. K-Rino. Now we had the podcast originally scheduled for Friday, but we had to reschedule it. So it's an honor to have my man on the platform. For those of you who don't know about K-Rino, man, you're definitely about to get educated. You should definitely check out this man's library. Just some great, awesome music for your ears and for your soul. You know what I'm saying? So definitely check it out. Go ahead and hit the share button for me if you can. Thanks to everybody who's tapping in. We're gonna go ahead and bring him on just a second. Had to remind you guys to make sure you pick up No Offense magazine on the 15th. It will be launched right after our interview with Drew Mary, who's also on the cover of the magazine. That interview goes live at 12 noon on Central Time, so that's 1 p.m. for the East Coast. Right after that interview concludes, you'll be able to pick up the magazine on our website, nooffensellc.com/magazine, or just go to nooffensellc.com, and I'm sure you'll see it on the heading right there. We'll be able to click on it and go ahead and check it out. But without further ado, man, you know what I'm saying? We're going to go ahead and jump into this interview, get some questions asked for you guys. And if you can, go ahead and please make sure you jump in the comments for me if you have any questions. Let's get this thing started. Mr. Rito.
How you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it going, boss man? I appreciate you for giving us the opportunity to interview you on the platform today.
Bro, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me on your platform, brother. It's an honor and a privilege. I apologize for missing out Friday, man, but we here today. I'm glad to get down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's like I said, it's just quite an honor. We definitely understand things happen. We're definitely glad to see that you're in good health. That's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the opportunity to get to ask some questions. I heard about you. I was actually put on about your music from a good friend of mine who was from San Antonio, and I happened to meet him in Florida. And when he put me on your music, I was listening to Grand Deception, and it was just the fact that like it was just awesome, man. The storytelling, the word choice, the vocabulary, and just how you continue to do it throughout your career, brother. It's just amazing, especially with some of the changes that we've seen in the music itself. You know what I'm saying? As it's continued to evolve, I'm just curious as to what are some of the things that you've seen as the game continue to evolve that allowed you to continue your style, versus everyone else who chose to go maybe a different route with it?
I think that a couple of things that an artist has to do. Number one, they have to grow within themselves. You have to always make sure that you're adding more layers to your own intellect, your own knowledge pool, and I think that keeps you versatile. It keeps you being able to continue to come up with new material. The second thing you have to do is to keep your eyes and ears on how the game is evolving, and not necessarily to be like everybody else, but to make sure you're on par with everybody else and what's going on. And those are the two things that I try to do throughout my career, just try to observe on those levels. And so far, big brother, it's worked out pretty good for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Starting such a movement and having such a heavy influence in a culture such as yourself and SPC. Shout out to your coalition, South Park Coalition. How did what was on your mind? Creating it. What went into actually kicking? Because a lot of people have that, they talk about things, but actually putting it into action and getting it rolling. You know what I'm saying? What all went into, making sure it is where it's at today, and what are the future plans that you want to see it, continue to rise to?
Well, when I first started it, I didn't look far down into the future. I wish I could take credit for saying that, but really, I just wanted to get the guys that I rap with at my school together and give us a name and have us an organized unit that had a name attached to it. So that was the first thought. It was maybe just a handful of us. It may not have been any more than 6 or 7 of us, but I wanted us to be able to be called something. So since we were from South Park, which is a neighborhood in Houston, I just added the coalition on the end of it when I saw that word in the book, and we put it together. Now, didn't know that it was going to grow the way it grew. Didn't know that it would become something that people would connect with, and it would resonate with people worldwide. Here we are 36 years later. Didn't see that coming, but nevertheless, thankful for the blessing of that, because now we're at the point where different generations have come into the knowledge of South Park Coalition, and that's a beautiful thing, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As far as the some of the ethics and the morals, which you stand on, you stood on, throughout the time of your career. Um, how do you continue to find ways to, even though there's new sounds, what I'm saying? How do you find ways to make sure that you still pass that along, throughout the generations? You know what I'm saying? That have joined the SBC.
Yeah, it's about being yourself and pushing to be innovative, to be the one who creates the new styles and the new sounds and the new trends, within what you know how to do. Again, like I say, you keep your eyes on things, but you're also looking at ways, okay, well, how can I be the one to get ahead of things as well? So people will look and say, well, I never heard nobody say that. I've never seen anybody do that. But also you have to make sure that you never lose the love for the art form, and do your best to not let the business dilute that love you have just for the game itself, because we was doing it before we even thought about a possibility of making money off of it. That we just did it because we love it. It's like people who play basketball, you just hooping because you love it, then you realize you're kind of good at it, then you say, okay, maybe I can bump it up another level. But it got to remain fun to you, man. If you don't wake up thinking like, man, how can I mess somebody's head up today in a good way, then you start to lose that love, because once you get into that business, that industry side of it, it takes a whole different turn, and it can throw you off course if you're not focused on why you started in the first place.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Something I think would also be a valuable piece of knowledge for those, who would hope to have, a career as extensive as yours, sir. Definitely knowing that business side, and how do you manage to maintain making sure that you have your business set up correctly, and what I'm saying, still not losing that passion for the art of the of the different things that you bring to the table being unique. Do you recommend managers, or at what point in the game do you think they're necessary, or just any kind of knowledge you might be an impart in, with independent being such a big part of the an option, or such a big option for different artists today, versus like going to different labels and things like that as they used to be.
Well, I'm not opposed to managers. I'm not even opposed to artists signing on labels. What I recommend and suggest to an artist is that whatever route you take, that you have control over your stuff. That's it. You have to have a strong level of control over, so no one can start to pull the puppet strings on you. So once you do that, now it's like, okay, I called the shots. So even if I have a manager, I'm basically dictating to the manager, will say, look, this is what my goal is this is the direction that I want to go in, and I need you to take me in this direction or help me go in this direction. With the label, if you can enter into a partnership with a label where you are in control, where you understand, hey man, look, you're not pimping me out per se, then you're in a good position. As far as the business aspect, that's an ongoing process, even with an artist like me who's been doing it for 40 years, because that part of the game changes and evolves so much that you're constantly in a classroom in this industry. The same way you are constantly in the classroom creatively, you're constantly in the classroom from a business standpoint too. You're constantly in the classroom technologically because those evolve and change in this music business as well. So there are a lot of things that I had to learn late in the game because I didn't pick up on it early. And there are a lot of things that I'm still learning. So my goal now as I'm learning is to try to talk to younger artists and tell them, hey man, you need to be learning this, getting this now while you learn young. So don't wait until later on and you just now finding out about publishing at 35 years old. Get on that, get ahead of that now, and you'll be better for it in the long run.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When it comes to artists coming in and making music and getting their name out more, when would you say is a good time that an artist should be looking, to maybe tour, or around what time, around what part about what part about their career should they be looking to tour? You know what I'm saying? Like, should it be something they should be trying to do immediately, or do they need to have like a catalog? Because I imagine if they're gonna give people a show, they want to make sure they can give people a show. Like, uh, what is there something that you feel like they should be looking into immediately coming in, if they believe that music is a career they want to pursue, or is there some sort of standard or about some sort of level of career that they should have under their belt before they look to maybe try to put that under their belt as far as going on tour maybe?
Yeah, I think you have to build yourself up to a point where you're ready, meaning that you work out locally. You're doing shows in your own city, in your own area, to get a feel of how good you are, how good you're becoming, what you need to work on, and then judging the responses and the reaction of audiences that you perform in front of diverse audiences. And then when you get to that point where you're noticing that, okay, it seems like everywhere I perform, I'm getting a lot of love. Even people that don't know, not just my cousins and family members that's coming to see me, but total strangers are like, hey. So that kind of is the first step to letting you know that you may be ready to expand and take it beyond the borders of your city. But also, that's a good point because you got to have product. I don't recommend an artist to start performing and doing shows out of town, even locally to some degree, if you don't have something physical to leave the crowd with, some merchandise, I don't care if it's a flyer, because this is an out of sight, out of mind industry that we participate in. And sometimes, no matter how great you are, there may be a handful of people that go look you up later on once they get home. Let me check to see what this guy got. I liked him tonight. He was good. But for the most part, people move on. So you want to have something physical, a t-shirt, a flyer, whatever you got that you can leave with them as a reminder that, oh yeah, I need to check that guy out. So there's more elements to it than just the talent and even putting on a great show. You have to have that whole package that represents planting a seed that when you long gone back home and or in another state or whatever, the people you left are still rocking with you.
Sir, yes, sir, and thank you again for your knowledge, sir. Some of the other questions I had were, how does one remain uniquely them, but still be open to critique, and know what's positive positive feedback, but maybe bruise the ego a little bit. Let me say, because I mean, sometimes you hear things that you weren't expecting to hear, but
Right.
still knowing that that comes from a place of love, and integrating that into their continued growth. Because
Well, that's a
sometimes,
great question. That's a wonderful question. You have to come. An artist has to come in knowing. It's like just picture yourself in a getting ready to participate in a boxing match. So you in one corner, the other guy's in the other corner, and the guy rings the bell, and then so you come to the middle of the ring, the guy punches you in the face, and you go, "Hey man, why'd you hit me in the face? You're in a boxing match." That's the object. So you have to come in knowing that everything said about you is not gonna be in the best light. People are gonna love you. People are gonna not like you. People are gonna straight up hate you. You're gonna hear it all. So you have to develop what they call that tough skin to know. Because what happens is, as artists, we can become we can get too lofty if the praise comes too early. Like if an artist is really, really good and naturally gifted, they getting praise out the gate. Oh, you're so good, you're so good, you're so good. And 2 years pass and you've never heard a negative word about yourself. Then the day comes when you do, you might not be able to receive it. Like, oh, why? Because it's something that didn't you didn't ever experience. So you got to come in knowing that it's 8 billion people on the planet. And it doesn't matter if you sell 100 million records, it's going to be 20, 30 million more people that I ain't feeling him. I don't like him. So, but also you have to know that you can't attack every criticism, every critical word that's levied against you. I've seen rappers all in the comment sections arguing with fans and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, number one, you're reducing yourself when you do that. Number two, it's a battle you can't win because even the trolls get off to that. They love that. But even the people who may have just an honest opinion, hey man, I just don't like your music. I don't have nothing personal against you. I just don't like your music. Then they going in attacking them. You got to know coming in. People are going to love you. People are going to feel a different kind of way about you. So I tell artists all the time, if you're not built for the negative critiques, then you're going to have a problem. You got to be able to read. And the last part of that is something that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said. He said, your critics are your best teachers. So a wise artist will read a critique or listen to a critique and try to pull the lesson out of it that will make them better. Even if it does bruise the ego on contact, you say, ooh, that was harsh. But let me see what aspects of what they're saying about me may be true and how I can correct that. That's growth, not only as an artist, but that's growth as a person.
that's deep. That's deep. I definitely like that. I definitely like that. Definitely like as far as knowledge, man. That was a lot. That was a lot to digest. So especially being a battle rapper, you know what I'm saying? Hats off for that because man, I hear some of the lines that go. I hear some of the lines in the industry. You know what I'm saying? When they say they're swinging to win. There's no love from the other side.
Yeah.
What are some of what are some of the times, or have there been times that you just as much as you might be mentally prepared to come into the ring to do, it's just you might have got hit with a ringer. Like you just never expected somebody to say something like that,
Yeah.
and it was how do you shake that off and still continue? Because I don't see anybody pulling out any pieces of paper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They gotta still have that mentally. How do you I know you said you got to develop tough skin, but what do you do in that moment? That you hear that and still continue. How do you can still continue to go on from there?
Yeah, back in my old battle days, man. It's been a while for your big brother, but the principle remains. What it is that you have to come in with your weapons. See, I use a lot of sports analogies, so bear with me. Okay, picture yourself, you playing basketball, so you're in the post and you getting ready to go to your favorite move, and the guy cuts it off. But all you got is that one move. You don't have a counter move, then he's gonna cut off your main move. But if you worked on and practiced several moves, then when he cuts off your first move, oh, I can spin back the other way now. You know, so in rap, it's the same way. Okay, you know what? I hit him with this. He hit me with that. And what he hit me with was a little harder than the punch I hit him with. I had to already have a punch ready. When I'm creating, when I'm writing, preparing for this guy, I got to already be ready for him to hit me with something that I might not see coming, or that's going to take the crowd and make them go, oh, I got to be ready. So you prepare yourself and build your arsenal up as strong as you can, to where if you do get hit with that punch, I got a punch that I can follow it up. I can counter punch. So again, it comes in knowing what you get yourself into. Hey, a lot of times the guys I battled back in the days, a lot of them were just random. I didn't know what they had, but I knew what I had. But there were other times where I battled guys who I was really familiar with. Okay, I know I got to come with it against this guy. This guy is he's not intimidated by me. He believes he's better than me. He feels like he's going to knock me out. So I got to match that or better that. And if you're not prepared, then the chips going to fall where they may. And it may end with your head being the one chopped off and laying on the ground.
Was there ever a time that you was like, okay, this person is they gonna make me bring it, like more than in any, not to say anybody else was any less talented, but was there anybody that you could think of off the top that was just like, okay,
well, some people were less talented, it's levels, but yeah, I just remember, my brother, we Southpaw Coalition, we family now, but back in the days when me and Gangsta Nip battled, I knew coming in that I was in trouble, so I had to make myself get to a level where I believed I could match him. And I know he was thinking the same thing about me. So that was part of the process of steel sharpening steel, and part of the steps that you take on your journey, things that made you stronger and better. Because once you fight Mike Tyson, some dude in the street, I mean, it's just everything is downhill after that, So that's the mindset. But if you don't have it in your heart to challenge yourself just to see where you at, then you'll never experience the true growth as an artist or as a man or as a woman. You have to do everything you can to try to max yourself out. I heard guys say so. A lot of the battles I was in, I typically won, but that doesn't mean you can win a fight and still get punched in the face real hard. I took some shots because I'm a different kind of dude, man. I could be battling you, and if you say something, a hard line on me, I might go, ooh, if you're talking about me, because I give credit where it's due. I respect the art form, but I always was ready for whatever though.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Gangsta Nip. That's the draw. That was the draw. Legendary battle. Yes,
I'm
sir.
glad that's over with. That was 30-something years ago.
Hey, with much respect, dude. I mean, still in the Houston culture, Houston has its own sound. Just its own culture, its own wave. What as far as how do you feel like it compares up to? I don't even say compares. How do you feel it influences other sounds in the world that still try to? Because I mean, there's people that pay homage to the sound. You know what I'm saying? But there's still a different sound when it's made here, that is hard to be expressed. What do you think, and how do you think they've still managed to keep that unique, and what influences that particular sound?
Houston is so different because we've actually had different sounds over the years. If you look at our sound, Southpaw Coalition, it's a whole different sound than Screwed Up Click.
Yeah.
Then you could go to Rap A Lot, and Rap A Lot had that killer roster with the sound and the artists that they had. And I could be wrong, but I can't think of many cities or many regions that over a period of time have had multiple types of sounds, but they've all been influential throughout. Like you can look at many artists outside of the city of Houston that have become big popular artists, and they will give credit to Rap a Lot. They'll give credit to the Ghetto Boys for being an influence on them. They'll give credit to Gangsta Nip and Point Blank and members of the South Park Coalition. They'll give credit to the Screwed Up Clique. Just the Screw sound and the Screw culture itself, just slowing it down and chopping it like Screw did, that became a worldwide thing once people in the industry saw that this sells records. So Screw used to always say, I want to screw up the whole world, and he accomplished that, because that influence that he created through innovating that sound is stretched out through the whole world. So Houston to me is just unique because we've had multiple sounds and different cliques and artists that have stamped and put an imprint on the culture as a whole, and people have been influenced by it.
Sir. I've got a couple more questions, OG, and I appreciate you. And I'll be able to let you go. I definitely appreciate your time, Buzz. So what are some of the things that you hope to see maybe either change for the better that you feel in the area, or even some of the things that you maybe hope to see maybe a little bit less of in the area over the next coming years?
Well, I just want to see artists grow and into understanding the power of the content that we put down. We all been through it. We all have wrote and said crazy things but we didn't understand that not just young people, but older people are also very impressionable. And if you say something too out of pocket, there's somebody that's gonna do it. There's somebody that's gonna say, okay, I can live by that, when in reality, it was just entertainment. So I think I want to see artists be more conscious of their content and start to write more life into our music, as opposed to more depth into our music, as opposed to more negative lifestyle, degenerative lifestyle. And I think that comes with, again, growth as a man and a woman. Once you start to experience life more and the light comes on in your head and say, man, these words are actually powerful, then I think most people start to go in a different direction. And when you start to go in that direction, then that will give you the control you need as a business person as well, because the industry heads, the ones who control that, they're not going to want you to evolve and become a better artist and raise people up through your words, because they're pushing a different agenda. So you will transition out of that level of it and naturally by default become more independent. So those are the things I want to see. I want to see us get more business savvy, like I said, early. And if we do those things, we get ahead of that, man. We could take this thing over, because they have taken rap music and have used it as a tool to make us use it against ourselves. So now we are basically running on autopilot, because of the songs that we put out are geared toward either killing each other, drugging ourselves up, worshiping materialism, and it takes the total focus off of the things that are actually being implemented on us by those so-called elites, and it's bringing down the vibration of us as a people in society.
Amen. One thing I always loved about your music is the accountability. You never dodged accountability ever, especially in the song "No Complaints," one of my favorites, boss. How do you make sure that every line delivers in a way that you do? Every line means something in the way that you do. I never heard you waste any kind of filler, like, you know what I'm saying? Just never put anything on a track just for it to fill time. It's always with something with the purpose. How do you maintain that, that routine maneuver that you do, as I call it? It always has it always packs a powerful message in every piece of work that you deliver. How do you maintain that standard?
Well, I got a shout out to my brother Gangsta Nip. for that one, because I remember years ago he would say, "Man, I like for every line to just be just hard, every line, no skip, no playing around, no wasted lines," like you said. So with me, I was like, yeah, you know what? That's how it should be. But also in life, even if you take a song like No Complaints, it's so many different things that we complain about, or so many different things that we have to be grateful for that we shouldn't complain about, that you can still, every line can be just packed. You want to see, my goal is to, no matter what song it is, especially on some lyrical stuff, to make one bar so hard that while you're reacting to that bar, you can't even react to that one good because I already hit you with the next one, you know. And then when you digest, I hit you with another. I'm just stuffing it down your mind, you know. So that's the goal, you know. You want to make sure that you don't cheat people. You don't cheat people at all. You give them something on every single bar, and that's the challenge I put on myself, because I know the reward comes like me having this conversation with you, and you recognize it and say, man, you know, that's why I do it.
Well, I definitely appreciate the time. I know you're very busy boss man, making moves, man. I was honestly, when I got the response from your profile, I was like, I hope it's him, because a lot of the artists have different people that manage their profile. So man, I really appreciate the time that you were able to take for us today. We're gonna definitely get this shared. And I'm gonna continue to listen to your awesome music, brother. And anytime that you may have any other time where you can sit down and pass any knowledge, we'd be honored if you might feel the opportunity to come back on, man. I would love it.
Anytime, brother. Anytime, reach out, and I'm coming, family. You know, that's we gotta work with each other, brother. Salute to you. Continued success, man, on your program, man, and keep doing it, brother.
Thank you, boss man. Same to you. I hope that you have an amazing rest of the day and a much continuous career, sir. You have a great one.
Yes, sir. Blessings, brother. Peace.
Blessing. All right, guys. I definitely thank you guys for tuning in. As you can see, man, it was an amazing opportunity. He was definitely dropping jewels. For all the people that did tune in, did hit the share button, I definitely appreciate you for doing that, showing the love. We're gonna get some clips up, man, and pass these out. You know what we do for the independent artists that watch the platform that come through. You know what I'm saying? This guy, man, if you check him out, check out his career. He's been doing this for a long, long time. Shout out to the South Park Coalition. Shout out to K-Rino for coming through, spreading love. Until the next time, guys, remember, don't wait on the world to change, but you could be the one to change the world. I have been Mr. No Offense. Y'all have been awesome. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.